And welcome back, ladies and gents. Rogic.
Who are you? You don't look like any guardsman I ever saw, and that's not much of a uniform.
Excuse me? I'm Luca.
Oh, you looking for a chance to bring in some coin? Could be I have that opportunity, especially for someone with a few connections above ground.
Alright, let's hear it.
No offense, but your kings have some laws that don't make sense in a practical kind of world. Like about who gets to buy and sell lyrium, the sacred gift the stone provides us to show her love. No law should regulate that. The laws are meant to keep mages away from the stuff, so there's always buyers in the Circle Tower. I got one man named Godwin.
We know him.
Expecting a delivery of a stone's weight. You want an investment opportunity? I could see fit to, say, sell you that lyrium instead, at the reasonable price of 50 sovereigns. You can keep it, or, since you can travel freely from here, sell it to Godwin, who you know is buying. And if you bring back his return order, I could pay you, say, 20 sovereigns as a finder's fee.
Smuggling is illegal. I'm turning you in.
I don't think so. Boys!
Oh, you are a dead man, dude. Good job, Morgan.
Right.
And I'll take those 20 sovereigns off of you.
On it.
Easy money. Easy money, partner. I miss him. Tychus, that is. Zerlinda.
Have you a coin to spare, my lord? It's for my son. He's sick. He hasn't any clean clothes to wear or anything to eat today. Neither have I.
Here's 5 silvers.
Thank you. That a stranger would care so much when my own family barred me from their halls unless I'm willing to. But no, I can't bear to even think of it.
What does your family want you to do?
My son's father is casteless, as is he. I used to be a minor, but my parents stripped my caste and refused to accept me back. Unless I agree to abandon the child in the deep roads and pretend I never bore him.
Jeez.
I cannot abandon my baby. The Shapers teach that only children of true lineage exist, not those born casteless. But they never carried a child. He cries like any other infant, and smiles when he's warm and full. I can't kill him because of an accident of birth, an accident I forced on him.
Maybe I could reason with your family.
You would do that? But why?
I happen to be a lover of children.
Then I cannot offer enough gratitude. But I warn you, my father
I
is
should say
a stiff-necked
caretaker.
man. His name is Ordell, and he's usually at Tapster's in the evening. I do not think he will listen to you. But I will wait anxiously to see if you can do what you promise.
Well, better that than him getting just thrown out to the deep roads to either starve or get killed by the Darkspawn. Or taken if they do what the White Walkers do.
Well, look at that. It's not often old Nadezda sees a fine-dressed stranger here in Dusttown. Help a poor cripple.
Here's 5 silvers.
Well, thank you truly, my lord. That's right good of you. It takes a stranger to notice how bad things are, huh? No dwarf would lift a sodding finger. Excuse my language. What takes you out of the diamond quarters, stranger? You got a vice you're looking for old Nadezda to fill?
Maybe. How'd you get crippled?
I'd say it was an accident, try to get some sympathy coin, but you look like you'd rather hear the truth. I was running protection for the Carta when some guardsmen caught me. Duster I was with had coin for a bribe, but I took a stand. Guardsmen broke my sodding kneecaps and had me kneel in dung until the infection set in. Never healed proper.
Ugh. What's a Carta?
Well, now I know you're not from here. The Carta's who runs Dusttown. Jarvie has got her boys everywhere. They tell you, and you jump. because they're the only ones with the coin and the steel to get whatever they want.
I see. Sorry to hear that, but I should go.
I'll just stay out of your way then.
Yeah, we definitely need to invoke some change into this place. Now it's just a matter of figuring out which of the two is more likely to do this. Now, Balin, yeah, he seems the more ruthless and less caring type, but he wants to change the way things are, so... hit or miss. Then again, we don't know much about what's-his-face, his opponent. So I think once we learn a bit about him, then I'll have a more knowledgeable decision. Alright, so off we go to the Diamond Quarter. It's good to be prepared for anything. Make sure you equip each party member with both melee and ranged weapons. There, I said the word right. I know I keep calling it melee. I forgot what games I've said that in, but it's melee. And I've been saying it wrong my whole life. I feel like a silly man. Old habits die hard. Oh, game, don't crash. This is not the time to do it. Then again, it hasn't crashed so far, so I shouldn't be too worried. Nah, but still, that fear just sits there. It's like, oh, this might be the day. If I can save. Noble. Adal Helmi.
Higher class midget here, I'll wager. Or Zamara's ailing
The
for
social
want of a
strata
king.
quickly makes itself evident no matter where one goes.
From what I've heard of dwarven politics, I'm almost surprised we haven't seen blood running these streets.
Good point. Where's our crier?
Balin is a bad man! Yes, very bad!
Indeed.
Nothing I say is provably false.
To be fair, that first bit you said is not entirely untrue. Lady Dace.
This has dragged on too long. It's an insult to King Endrin's memory.
Guess I take it we speak to her later. Oh, there's Nerov.
News of the hour. Lord Harrowmont's insinuations against Lord Balin reveal the truth. Could Harrowmont be the true cause of King Endrin's death? Shocking allegations.
Oh, it's like Fox News and CNN are out here.
Such big houses they have.
For such a short people, they do rather like their buildings tall.
You know, after all this is over, I wouldn't mind getting a job here. I could sing, tell stories, help the king get items from high shelves.
Yeah, have fun with that, Liliana. As long as you're in my entourage, you'll do no such thing. Chamber of the Assembly, sounds like the place we need to go.
The Assembly is in session. Enter quietly if you wish to observe.
Alright, I will.
As you wish.
Your mind has gone to dust if you think we would pass such a writ. Half our houses would go broke without the service trade.
The proposal is only effective until we have a king to ensure we are respected by the surfacers.
Leaving you conveniently positioned to take over all contracts. I'll see your head on a pike first.
Desher's lords and ladies of the Assembly. I've already doubled the guard to prevent violence. Must I summon more?
Steward Bandalore, Balin's sympathizers are tying our hands with trivialities, they may as well open us to the sky.
I suggest we put the matter to a vote.
And I suggest you have a taste of my family's mace.
Enough! The Assembly is in recess until the members can regain control of their emotions.
Well, hello there.
Stone-forsaken fools and dusters. I'm sorry. This is the Assembly of the Clans. Only Dashers and occasional guests of state are allowed in.
I'm a Grey Warden.
Forgive me. I am so exhausted. I completely forgot about the message from the Gate Guard. Welcome to Orzammar, Warden. I hope you can forgive our unrest. The loss of our king has hit us hard. Respect for your role is great, but you won't receive a proper hearing until we have a king on the throne.
A blight is coming.
Troubling, but it will still seem distant compared to the empty throne. The Assembly is blind to all else.
Does this city not care that the world's about to end?
This is their world, and it ended when Endron died.
Is there a way I can break this stalemate?
I must admit, Warden, I am at a loss myself. It lies with Prince Balin or Lord Harrowmont, and they are slow to trust anyone in these uncertain times. Dulin Ferender, Harrowmont's man, can be found at the Harrowmont estate. Vartag Gavorn, Prince Balin's second, is often here in the Assembly. I only wish there was more I could do for you.
Oh, there's Vartag. I guess we'll talk to him first, since he's here.
Warden, it is always a blessing for Orzammar to host your order. I am Vartag Gavorn, top advisor to our good Prince Balin. What news do you bring?
I need aid against a blight.
Yes, the treaty. I've seen it in the Shaper's libraries. Now, the difficulty is that the treaty only compels our king, and we are sadly lacking one of those right now.
Battling the blight is more important than politics.
No one wishes this fight over more than Balin. But while it rages, Orzammar can spare no one to combat what may or may not be a new blight.
Are you implying that a Grey Warden wouldn't recognize a blight?
I believe you. But what are we to do? If Balin followed his heart and sent his men to aid you, Harrowmont would steal his throne. We would defeat the blight and return to find our homeland devastated by an incompetent tyrant.
And if you don't fight, your homeland gets destroyed.
Perhaps you could prove to Prince Balin your intentions are just. If you show you owe Harrowmont no fealty, I'm sure Balin would help you. Harrowmont has engaged in a campaign of bribery and coercion to ensure that every house serves him. But if a neutral party, a stranger, were to approach certain key members, perhaps with irrefutable evidence of Harrowmont's deception, I'm certain my Lord Prince would show his gratitude.
Alright. Where to go?
Harrowmont promised the same portion of his estate to two different Deshers, Lady Dace and Lord Helmy. Oh, excuse me, two Assembly members. Desher is their formal title. Harrowmont can't possibly grant it to both of them, but they won't find out until after the vote is cast.
I see.
I have copies of the promissory notes Harrowmont gave each of them. Once they see those, they should both reconsider their votes.
Yeah, where did you get those?
That's not important. If they ask, say you found them while searching the Shaper's libraries for your treaty.
I suppose that's where he would get them, and he's trying to cover his own tracks. Alright, fine.
Lady Dace doesn't leave the quarter much, but Lord Helmy's adventurous, likes to spend his time at Tapster's in the Commons. Remember, don't tell them you got these papers from me. You learned of them and drew your own conclusions.
A fair point. Proves that there's no bias to him and makes it more believable. Alright. Subtlety it is. Got some damn Game of Thrones shit going on in here. Oh, there's the other guy.
I heard there was a Grey Warden here. I am Dulin Ferender, second to Lord Harrowmont, King Endron's own choice as successor. Word is spreading that the surface may suffer a blight. It is shameful we are not in a better position to help.
I have a treaty obliging Orzammar to aid against a blight.
That may be, and that is a terrible risk for the surface. But even if the world would end tomorrow, Lord Harrowmont cannot ignore Balin today. He cannot afford to trust anyone of unproven loyalties. You're asking the King of Orzammar to send armies to the surface, but Orzammar has no king and we have no army. Right now, the men who should be fighting Darkspawn are brawling in the street. If this situation is not resolved, we face civil war. If you want Lord Harrowmont's time now, you'll have to prove you have no intention of turning against him later.
And how would you like for me to do that?
That's a generous offer. If you mean it, you might attend the proving today. The Deshers take it very seriously. And unfortunately, Balin found some way to blackmail or intimidate House Harrowmont's best fighters into stepping down.
Do you want me to find out why your fighters have dropped out? Or why would your assembly care who wins some tournament?
The proving is a contest of the best warriors in Orzammar. By fighting, they show who has the ancestors' favor. If you were to enter the proving as Lord Harrowmont's champion, it would prove your loyalty beyond a doubt. Balin would never work with anyone who humiliated him in that way. Harrowmont would have no fear of meeting with you then.
I'll pretend and just say yes.
Excellent. The arena is located off the Commons. Talk to the Proving Master and tell him you're entering Lord Harrowmont's roster. The key fighters we lost were Guidon and Baisel. You can look for them in the fighters' preparation chambers behind the ring. And be sure it's before the fights begin. After the first bout, no one may change the roster. If you need to find me again, I will wait in the Tapster's Tavern off the Commons. There is no better place to hear gossip. Perhaps even word of your victory.
Gossip, eh? Sounds like a place to check out before I decide either one. Which the Shaper's Library is over here.
Do you miss the life you once had, Shell? These centuries of memories you have lost?
Does it miss being within its mother's womb?
Do I... Well, no. I don't remember that far back.
It is no different. My memory stretches only so far, and what went before is now lost.
And you remember nothing at all? Not even a little bit?
There are images, faces who I have no names for, places I remember being, but not where they are. Do I miss these things? They are without context. I feel only disquiet when I think of them.
Like dreams, then. When you awake, all the details have fled.
Is that what it is to dream? Then yes, perhaps it is like that.
How very sad. To discover your entire life has been a forgotten dream. I am so sorry.
Actually, let me talk to her right quick.
It speaks.
Questions.
It doesn't have better things to do.
How did you end up in Hunley? Do you remember?
Oh yes, that I remember quite well. My former master, the Mage Wilhelm, he brought me. As I recall, he had acquired some position with whatever lord ruled the land. I, being little more than a glorified possession at the time, was brought along. Oh, how he enjoyed impressing the villagers with me. Gollum snarl at that villager there, be fearsome. And of course, I would have to do it.
Do you remember anything before Hunleith?
I traveled with the mage. He did a lot of traveling, I remember that. But where we went, it is rather fuzzy. I remember great battles, fighting many humans long ago. They were all very soft and squishy. And before that, No, there are only images. I was somewhere dark.
Just how old are you exactly?
I have no idea. Wilhelm used to brag that the dwarves stopped making golems centuries ago. I do not age as you soft creatures do. Sadly, my memory is no better. Plus, I get bored and stop paying attention.
But why were you in front of the tower?
That is where Wilhelm kept me. He wanted me out in the open where I could be frightening like a scarecrow. I was supposed to watch for thieves. Pah. Plus, his wife didn't want me indoors. She said there wasn't room for me. Hag.
I would have thought you enjoyed scaring humans.
I'd have happily stomped them all into paste, and then ripped down their little houses and stomped on them, too. In fact, after 30 years of watching them, I'd do it twice. What I didn't like was being ordered to do it. Dangled in front of those frightened morons like some scary thing. Once I was a statue, it took those villagers years before they'd even approach me. The first one to actually work up the nerve to touch me urinated himself. Ugh.
Interesting. I'm done asking about that.
Good. I was just about done talking about it. It does like to have a good chat now and again, doesn't it?
On occasion. Because I'm trying to get her a companion quest.
It speaks. It doesn't have better things to do.
How did Wilhelm come to acquire you?
That part I know, as Wilhelm often bragged about it to whomever was willing to listen to him. He claimed to have found me in the deep roads. I was in the ruins of a Tig, he said, deactivated, with my control rod not far away.
Do you know where in the deep roads this was?
No. That secretive bastard refused to tell me. I would ask and ask, but no. He used to say that one day, if I were compliant and didn't talk back at his wife, he would take me there and I could look around myself. Rotten, lying bastard. If I had his head in my hands now, I would squeeze it like a giant lemon. Squish.
Damn it, and I was just getting done repressing the memories of Season 4, Episode 8 of Game of Thrones. Damn it, Shale! So if he hadn't found you...
I wouldn't have had to put up with the twit, and I would be none the wiser. I don't think I was aware while I was there. Not like in the village. Or perhaps I was. Perhaps that was the dark place, and I simply couldn't see anything. How long could even I sit in the darkness and stare out at nothing, never sleeping? Oh, I do not wish to think of that.
What was Wilhelm doing in the deep roads?
It was a hobby of his, scavenging. One of the reasons he traveled so much is that he was looking for entrances into the deep roads, old places the dwarves had long forgotten. And then he would sneak down and search for magical treasure, before anyone was the wiser.
And you don't know why you were there?
I think I remember a battle. It was long before, and then there was darkness. Bah, in short, no. I do not remember why I was there. It makes no difference.
Let's move on.
On then. It speaks.
Questions?
It doesn't have better things to do.
Are those crystals in your skin?
I like to think of them as accessories.
Do all golems have them?
I suspect that it is an art that was practiced when golems were more, commonplace. My former master collected whatever lore he could find on the subject. He searched far and wide to collect what crystals he could and then added them. It is not an unpleasant sensation.
It's a dwarven thing, then.
So I would assume. My former master enjoyed poking around the ruins in the deep roads after all, and bartering with others who did. As I understand it, the crystals allow me to alter the flow of magic around me. Wilhelm had hoped to turn me into a battery of mana, something he could tap at will.
Did he succeed?
Not really. Although now that I think of it, these attempts may be what caused my disruption. Some of the crystals increase the presence of mana, some absorb or reflect spells. There are various kinds. All I can promise is that should it ever find one of these crystals, I can likely tell it the function and what it would do if added to me.
Would you be willing to have more added?
Why not? I don't get to wear clothing and other adornments like the rest of you creatures after all. That answers its question, I assume? Unless it has more.
Nope.
Better to save them for the next random stranger it decides to interrogate. Let us leave now.
Alright, maybe I have to sort around here because this is where all the histories are, so it's obvious.
Who would dare take from the memories?
Alright, I'll ask him in a minute what he's on about. Man, a lot of books here. Orzammar politics. Oh, Liliana leveled up.
As you wish.
Legion of the Dead.
On it.
And praise of the humble Nug. Surprisingly, that's all of them. Alright, what do you want about?
Orden, I'm outraged. A thief in the Shaperate. What have we been reduced to?
Did you get a good look at him?
I did. He was bald, with the most garish brand across his head. Almost like he took pride in being castless. Imagine. He's probably in the slums somewhere. As if he'd find a buyer for a stolen tome in Dust Town. They couldn't know the value.
Interesting. Orta, how's it going?
Oh, pardon me. Were you looking for a particular volume? Not that I could really help. I don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research.
What kind?
I was looking for something about the Orton Tig. It was lost during the last Blight, and there aren't many records left. They were a noble house once, descended from the Paragon Orton, who composed the grand epic of the Seven Brothers and the Ortonic Symphony. My mother's family believes they were descended from Kalana Orton, who was training in Orzammar when the Tig fell. I'm even named for the house, Orta. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the deep roads.
I'm a Grey Warden. I'm not afraid of those.
A Grey Warden? Mother always said that if anyone could find the Tig, it was the Wardens. I hear Prince Balin and Lord Harrowmont have both been sending out small teams these days. Yes, if you can find the Tig in any records, that could do it. That could prove I'm a noble. If you could. Maybe now that you're looking. It's almost too much to hope.
Alright, I will do that. Alright, Shaper, I need to speak with you.
When I last walked this hall, Endrin was king and Orzammar was at peace. The memories often speak of the swiftness with which change overtakes us. But it is different to see it firsthand. I apologize, Warden. I should not burden a stranger with such thoughts. I am Zebor, the Shaper of Memories.
How do you know who I am?
The Grey Warden's visit has been recorded in the memories, along with all who accompany you.
I see. Could you look at these promissory papers for me?
These are Harrowmont lands promised here. But these are not the deals we approved at the Shaperate. Where did you get these?
In Harrowmont's personal library.
If you wish, you can make your words as false as the documents you bear.
The papers are forged?
Not entirely. There were 2 promised deals, but their terms differed significantly from what is presented here. It appears the scripter altered the dates and locations of the agreements to make them identical.
I see. Thank you. I'll need to have words with someone.
You are an outsider, Warden, but not outside the law. I hope you will not do anything to challenge the stability of Orzammar.
No.
Ah, you return, Warden. Is there more you would know from Orzammar's memories?
Let's talk about Orzammar, Lord Shaper.
Ask, and I shall do my best to answer. We were a great empire once, outnumbering even humans and elves. We traded with your Tevinter Imperium, and our land stretched as far in the deep roads as theirs did above. Kal Sharok was capital then, but we lost too many battles. We lost our golems, and we lost our territory. Now the Empire is simply ruined tunnels filled with darkspawn.
And how did you lose your golems?
The Paragon Caradon, a smith of unsurpassed genius, invented the golems. For years they were our weapon against the darkspawn. One golem is worth 12 dwarves in battle, but Caradon's Tig is far into the deep roads. When it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. There are books about it along these walls if you would read more.
Golems like this?
Yes. We have only a few dozen left in Orzammar, and I do not recognize this one. Where did you find it? Every golem is precious to us. We'd pay a good sum for a new find.
I'd sooner jump into a pit of lava.
Unfortunate. Was there anything else? I must tell the rest of the Shaperate about this discovery.
What are the deep roads?
They were once our highways beneath the mountains. Now the Darkspawn claim them and few venture there, except your order, who enter the deep roads when they retire, so they can die slaughtering as many Darkspawn as possible.
And where is Kalsharok?
At the other side of the old empire. During the last blight, the kings of Orzammar knew they couldn't hold everything. They sealed the deep roads, abandoning everyone still trapped in far-flung settlements. It was the only way to survive. Kalsharok is the only other city to outlast the blight. We only rediscovered them recently, and they still haven't forgiven us.
Forgiven you? Alright, never mind. I should go.
Your presence here has been recorded in the memories. I wish I knew what significance it has.
Okay, well, I have one less thing.
Return, Warden. Is there more you would know from Orzammar's memories?
I would like your permission to open a chantry here.
That is an odd request. Especially for one so new to our city.
Brother Burkle wants to open it.
I thought so. This is not the first time he's made this plea. My answer to Brother Burkle hasn't changed. So I ask you the same. On what basis would you have me insult the ancestors and overturn 2,000 years of tradition?
Cunning. The chantry's charities could greatly aid Orzammar.
What sort of charities do you mean?
Chantry cares for widows and orphans.
Traditionally, that is their extended family's responsibility, but sometimes people fall through the cracks. Very well, he may hold a prayer meeting as he requested, if not build a new temple to his god. At least the words would come from one of our own. Now, is there anything more?
Nope, that's it.
I will record this conversation in the memories. I hope I do not come to regret it.
Oh, I hope I don't regret informing you of it, good sir. Let's level Liliana up. What is captivating song? No, give her scatter. No, actually, arrow of slaying. Replace that with that, because I don't make traps anymore. Alright, so I can go let what's-his-face know once we get back to him. I need to go speak with what's-his-face. The problem is I don't know where the hell he's at. I don't know where Vartag's at anymore. Oh wait, no, I know where he's at. He will be through here. So I'm gonna confront him about this and ask him what the deal is. Don't fail me now, game. Okay. Oh, there we go. God damn, game, come on. Jeez. Over tag. May I pass?
No one enters the prince's estate without an invitation.
Alright. This is the throne of Orzammar.
Let's get started.
Oop, another one. Glass fractures at your touch. Hello, you. Good job, team.
As you wish.
Whoa, what the hell? Whoa! Okay, looks like we just stuffed a bunch of thieves.
This should be easy enough. Right. What's going on? By the ancestors.
Good on you, Warden. You caught them in the act. I guess desperate times drive people to strange things.
I guess so.
This should be easy enough.
I don't see Vartag anywhere. What the fuck was that? Okay. Guess he's not in here.